Live streaming is on.
Okay, so we're going to go on the training process really fast, really soon. But the first thing, just to finish up what we were talking about before, is that, and just in terms of relating to the training process, that there's under our training model, we
Yes.
might not have any training at all. We could create a brand new position, hire a new person to that position, have no training set up for that position at all. And then the worker who's hired into that position is still responsible for their own training and making sure we set up their training, that we document the training, we organize it for the next person that comes after them. All right, that's what we're all required to do. So if there's no AGC training process, then we have to create it. If we lose it, we can't find it, or whatever happens, we just have to create it. I doubt it's ever been created before, because I don't think anyone, no one prioritizes training, and I don't think anyone who's ever been put in the AGC position ever prioritized their training, so we never did it. Does that make sense?
Okay. Yes.
So it's very simple to do. So basically on line 44, you have the AGC training process. This is getting set up. So the first part would be creating a doc.
Time to pause. Please stop. Close your eyes. Count 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Open your eyes.
So if there's no, since we couldn't find a doc, we're just going to create it. So you want to create it either a doc or a sheet. I don't care either way. But the first component is like a setup, right? So this would be more of like an intro to the AGC training goals, right?
Yes.
Because we always do setup, right? So setup is always part of it. So that's what we're doing right now is the setup for the overall stage 5 activity team, which is basically making sure you know what your training is. All right?
Yes.
So then I would say that the first thing, which is what I was talking about before, the most important thing for an AGC coordinator is understanding their team. So the AGC team is the position. Does that make sense? The
Yes.
The AGC coordinator is coordinating the AGC team.
Team, yeah.
The P team. Does that make sense?
Yes.
So the most important thing for the agency coordinator to know is the team scope, what it does, how it functions, what's going on with it. So that would be responsibility number 1. Now, obviously, responsibility 1 doesn't exist. So again, this is going to be a slow process of setting up each responsibility, organizing it, getting the training, making sure you move forward. You already know a lot of this, Joyce. So it's going to be pretty easy for you, but it's still important. So then I would say number 2 would be general manager training, right? And the coordinator training. Then we would go into like more detailed AGC coordinator position training, right? So the AGC coordinator position training only comes after your general manager training and your general coordinator, right? Because there's no difference between general manager training and AGC coordinator. They're the same thing. Does that make sense?
Yes.
Yeah.
So you always want to do your general manager training first. Then after you go through basically your coordinator training, then you go into the overview of the taxes system, the overview of the finances system. You might go to the overview of accounting. You already know a lot about accounting. And then what else do you think maybe the AGC should go over?
The government compliances? It's there already.
Legal bills.
It's already.
No, it's not there. I don't see it. So we can add that. So basically, executive support and government compliance.
Time for breath. Please stop and get ready. Now inhale. 1, 2, 3. Exhale. 1, 2, 3. Pause. Inhale together. 1, 2, 3. Exhale. Relax.
Okay, so what else besides executive support and government compliance, which again you already know a ton about, right? What else?
Bills, is it bills there already?
Yeah, I can see those bills.
We're on line 54. You can just see it in the notes, right? Line 54.
Those bills.
Bills. No, there's no bills.
The budget.
So bills.
So what is the most important thing for bills?
Bills. bills updating and verification.
Exactly, verification. So it would be monthly and quarterly bills of verification training.
Uh-huh.
Okay.
Okay. Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Right. And we could also put here, we could say overview, right? Because a lot of this, it's not like we have monthly and bills responsibilities already that you can take on. You can get the training of those responsibilities. So in the context of the agency coordinator and the agency team, what does it mean to have monthly and quarterly bills verification as a general concept? So the training is much simpler, but then you can go into the detailed training for actually those responsibilities. Does that make sense?
Mm-mm.
Yes.
What else would be really important for understanding and having training on?
Taxes.
We already covered taxes is number 4, line 51.
Money priorities.
951.
Yes. So money support priorities. Let's just leave it at that. Money support priorities. And this is technically also client work. What else in relationship to money support priorities? And we're not getting, this is not the exact order, but we're at least getting down here. We'll get through it.
Mm-mm.
Budget.
Yeah.
But what is
Yeah,
budget?
budget.
What is budget part of?
Half-year budget.
Half-year budget.
Half-year budget.
Okay, but what is the budget part of? Because the budget is not just done by itself. It's much more. It's much as part of a much larger system.
The value.
Yes. So value. What and value? So the value very important. And what else? What else do we have besides value?
Value
And so
and
value includes budget,
payroll.
payroll,
Budget.
distributions, etc., equity distributions, all of that. Okay,
Yeah.
so
Yeah.
Pause. Please stop. Close your eyes. Count 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Open your eyes.
okay, so what else?
What else?
That's the other thing, really.
What?
I can really only think of one major thing that's missing, and then we'll be done for now. There could be other things, and we could have multiple training processes, but for now, I can only think of one more thing that's missing.
Real-time finances.
No, that would just be part of finances and accounting.
Oh, okay. So what else? Accounting, governance, compliance. What else?
Here, I'll give you a example. When we do our monthly accounting, how do we make sure we can run our payroll?
If there are if there's enough balance in the
Yes, and what if there's not enough balance? What do we have to do?
we have
We
to
transfer.
what you call that? What you call that? What you call that process?
Where do we transfer from? Where do we transfer the money from? How do we get
To our accounts.
IULLC.
Okay, but where do we transfer the money from? That's where the money goes. Where do we get the money?
The week.
From our cryptos.
Yeah, and what do we call a crypto? What is that?
Jurison Fund. For profit Jurison Fund.
Well, okay, but what is the Jurison Fund made out of?
Made
Of
of fiat,
the cyber organization.
No, that's the actual value in the Jurison Fund. What is it made out of?
fiat and
It's made of
Not fiat.
no, not fiat. What?
Asset.
Jace.
Assets. That's how you got it.
Wow, asset.
Assets.
Assets.
Yeah.
Asset.
Cyber assets.
Oh, okay.
Okay, so in the relationship of AGC under line 9 here, value and assets oversight is the same thing.
Mhm.
No different. So value is either one of two things: a liability, because we owe money, for example, to
Yes.
workers,
Yes.
or it's an asset in terms of our
Time
equity.
to stretch. Please stop, stand up, and stretch and move around for 30
I
seconds.
stretch.
All right, let's take a 30-second stretch. Okay. So what I was trying to explain here is that value and assets in terms of AGC are the same thing. And it's because in the perspective of AGC, both value and assets are either a liability or a positive asset that's in a balance sheet, right? There's no there's just oversight of the liabilities and the distributions and the asset pool and all the value, right? So both of those, the value and the assets, are basically outsourced externally from AGC. There's this value P team that's separate that oversees all the budget and payroll, and there's a separate assets sub team that deals with all of the assets and stuff. Okay, so as
Yes.
AGC itself is neither responsible nor has detailed,
Mhm.
work assignments for either value or assets. But both value and assets is under the purview of AGC. Okay? So if we
Yes.
only have one single P team, it's always AGC. So that's our primary coordinator. The coordinator of AGC oversees the value and assets, but they are not like within AGC. They're actually subcomponents. All right? Does that make sense?
Yes.
Our subcomponents.
Mhm.
All right, so this would be a good setup of the AGC training process. So you can start creating a sheet and doc, organizing all that out there, and we can start, doing that. Okay, so now that we would have that started, the next step would be to understand where you want to go from here, right? So for me, the direction that I'm leaning is I actually prefer, in my mind, to update the activity training doc.
Mhm.
I feel like the activity training doc is actually the most updated and active like document that we have in relationship to our training.
Mhm.
So this is the one that I would actually recommend.
The most updated. Mhm.
So what
Time
I
to
would
pause. Please stop. Close your eyes. Count 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Open your eyes.
and one of the things that I like about this and why I think that it's current is because it says you open the doc and it says it was assigned to Alberto. Right? So this was Alberto's current assigned training.
Yeah.
Right?
Yes.
So what I would do here is I would just take the global core team training and I would just grab responsibility 0 and just simply add that to this one, and then we can update that. So responsibility 0. All right. So then instead of Laura, because
Yes.
Laura's no longer with us, we can assign this to Joyce.
Mhm.
Right? In terms of our activity training, then we can add everyone else in here who it's assigned to.
Yeah.
And then
Ate,
and then when we create the new AGC training Docker sheet, then we can make sure it's clear on the top of that it's being assigned to Joyce, because you're the first person being assigned to that training process.
Okay. Okay.
Okay,
Yes.
Okay.
great. So for me, that is basically the goal of responsibility 0, right? So the goal is to do to get the information you need to make sure that you know what training positions you are doing, because that's
Okay.
really kind of this first step in understanding what it is that you're doing. So from here, I think it's also important potentially to make that responsibility 1, but it says here you're supposed to do training on specific position first team, then pop. But I feel like really it makes the most sense to actually do the training on the training first.
Yeah, yes. Yes.
So, because I feel like if without that, then you don't really know what it is that you're actually doing in relationship to any training. So that would be a proposal. So I'm going to go ahead and just propose that and see what everyone thinks about that. So the proposal would be a proposal to make training 0 the training on training training process, training on the training process. Then training number 1 is the training positions and assigned processes. So the proposal is to make training 0.
Please stop and get ready. Now inhale. 1, 2, 3. Exhale. 1, 2, 3. Pause. Inhale together. 1, 2, 3. Exhale. Relax.
Okay, so this isn't necessarily like an official proposal. This would be like what we call, I could say, a management proposal. So it's a very minor proposal, but I think it's really important to have it very clear, make sure we have agreement and understanding about it, because I'm not sure what the best answer is. So the option 1 is making to do the training on the training process first, or option number 2 would be doing the training positions as and assignment processes first, right? So currently the training positions are first, right? Are number 0. So what does everyone think about switching that to having it be on the training process first, so that you learn and understand how and why you're getting trained and what the training means before you go into your first training? That might actually help people. What do you think?
Can I go?
Yeah. Oh, Alberto, you need to check in. Yeah.
Oh, yeah, check in.
All right, so check in. Am I 3? We've been working on a lot of things, but related. We had many half pay stops, so mainly related to the half pay stops, and plus I work on staffing, which is something.
For CCC, right?
Yes, CCC staffing. Yes, CCC staffing. Check. Sorry, I'm late, guys. Really sorry, I'm late. I got stuck with some discussion. Whatever. Okay. I'll do policy track.
Yeah, I think you just get like a strike. So I think it's only like 5 minutes or something like that.
Yeah. So also, I would like to take on the work priorities master position with Ate, and okay. Yeah, I think this is 10. Yeah. Okay.
All right. So again, the options are, if we just want to do this as options as opposed to proposal, option 1 and option 2 is to leave the training on positions and assignment first. And then option 2 is changing it to be the training on the training process. So the training on the training process is basically learning about how to do the training, like how the training functions. And it seems like it might be difficult to complete the first training if you haven't actually learned how the training process works. So it's kind of like a chicken before the egg. I don't know.
Can I comment on that?
1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Open your eyes.
Please, Alberto.
Yeah. So I think that it makes super sense to leave it in the stage 5 global core team, because
I need to go. I got to take off just for a second. I'll be right back. I got to make a phone call.
Okay. So my point of view is that, it makes really sense to leave it like it is now in the global,
stage 5.
in the global core team, stage 5, because if you think about it, you come to FQN, and the first thing that you get now, we're getting more organized. But I mean, I think we're so different than what is around in the world. We're so higher level and everything that when you get here, you get a bit. It's a bit of shock, right? What's going on? So I think that it's very good that responsibility zero. You make sure that you know the positions that you have, right? You know and you get the material, and the goal is just to get the material, right, for the specific training. While once you get the material for the specific training and you go into the specific training, I agree with Jay that the first responsibility zero of the assigned training should be the training on the train.
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
Yeah, this is my
You have
idea.
a point.
This is my idea, yeah. Assigned training. For assigned training, yes. Responsibility zero. Training on training, while global core team stage 5 responsibility zero for me should stay like it is now, meaning you make sure you know your position and get the material for the specific assigned training. Right. So to me, that's my point of view. Right. I don't know what you think, guys.
Hey, you have a point.
What do you think? Makes sense, right?
Yeah, makes sense.
Yeah.
Let's see. Hey, by the way, Alberto, Jay said he did not see the message on the about the payroll. The what's it called? About the what's it called? The running. He did not see the message. He said always put in the activity, the message for him.
All the
And
executives.
then
Yeah, that's right. We should
he said
always
activity.
refer.
And
Yeah, correct.
and then he said on Sonic H3, he will do a Sonic H3 today.
Today's okay, perfect. I'm scheduled.
Money session.
I'm
Money session.
scheduled. Who else is scheduled?
Me. And Ate also.
You and Ate are also scheduled.
Right, Ate?
I don't know. Let me check.
Yes, Ate also. I remember. And I think Mamun also. I think also Aileen.
All right, this is good. So we can split and
Do some work.
we can move more work forward. Yes.
So, okay. So what else is the
Yeah,
topic
it's true.
here? Do you
Everybody's
have
schedule
anyone,
except
any,
boss.
yeah, what do you want to schedule?
Yes.
Sonic H3.
Let me just send a virtual hug to Moss.
Yes.
I'm so glad you're okay, Moss. Please next time take leave, partial leave. Let us know because
Or let us know what's happening to you. We're so worried.
we all live in a dangerous world, right? And
Yes.
you are very communicative. You're very present, and then suddenly you disappear for so many days. Like I was starting to think the worst, right? So I'm hugging you very, very strongly virtually, and I'm really, really very glad that you're okay and that you're participating at the main set. I'm really glad.
Yeah. Thank you. Yeah.
Alberto,
Thank you. What?
Alberto, please take a look on the topics. Maybe you have something more.
Yeah. So Jay muted, so I believe the timekeeping got off, but we should take a break. So
Take a
let's
break.
go into a
Okay.
break, 4 minute break. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.